So we are at part 2 of lesson 2.9, which is constructions of parallel and perpendicular lines. Part 1 of 2.9 was constructing a perpendicular line, and we are up to part 2, where we are going to be able to construct a parallel line, okay? So just like in part 1, we are going to work with this situation here. And by the time we are finished doing our constructions, our construction should look like this one down here. That's how we know that we've done it correctly, okay? So if yours doesn't look like this down here, then you may want to go back and retrace your steps. But we're going to take our time with this one. So we are going to be constructing a line parallel to a line through a given point. And so the way that that's done is we need to have a line that is equidistant from this one, right? That, of course, is never going to touch. So it should be a perfectly straight line, the same distance away from each other at every point. All right, what does that mean? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use a straight edge to draw a transversal through point P, and line N. What is a transversal? That's really important to know. Because we talk about transversals in 2.6 and 2.7, and we haven't gotten there yet, I'm just going to define that now. So just take a second and just write here, a transversal is a line that passes through two other lines in the same plane. Other lines in the same plane. Sometimes 3 other lines, but let's keep it 2 for now. So a transversal is a line that passes through 2 other lines in the same plane, okay? And so the transversal that we're going to draw is going to look like that, okay? So we're going to take our straight edge and we're just going to connect. So this is a point. Let's make this a point A, and then we're just going to draw a line through there to point A and point P. So this transversal is intersecting line N, but eventually we're going to have another line here that it's going to intersect, thus making it a transversal, because now it's not a transversal, it's only passing through one line. All right, so what is the first step? We did the first step, and that's why this looks like that, so we're on the right track. The third step, or step C, is to place the focus point over A and draw an arc that intersects N, right, line N, and the transversal, and we're going to label those points B and C. So we're going to place the focus point on A, and we are going to draw an arc that intersects line N as well as the transversal. So I'm going to make this kind of small, and I'm going to draw my arc, and my arc intersects line N as well as the transversal, okay? I need to label, so I'm going to label these. They didn't label theirs, but we are going to label ours, okay? And so this one is going to be B, and that's going to be C, okay? That's point B, and that's point C. All right, so this and this look exactly alike, except we labeled our points, which you technically are supposed to do. So we know that we are on the right track here. The next step is, it says, without changing the setting or the distance between the focus and the pencil point, place the focus point over point P and draw that same arc. So make the same arc using the same setting. And I actually want to extend this arc a little bit longer. So I just want to go all the way down, all the way to about there, okay? Make sure that you do that. You're going to see why that's so important. So you don't want to make a short arc, you want to make it a longer arc, okay? And so now our step D looks exactly like step D here. So we're on the right track, but we didn't label. So I do want us to label this point D, okay? So at this point, think about it technically as we are copying this angle here to this, right? So remember when we copied angles, we had to measure the distance between the first angle, the original given angle, we have to do that here. So I'm going to measure the distance here, and when I do that, I'm also going to make an arc. Okay? That same arc, keeping everything the same in terms of the setting, I'm going to make here. Okay? And so I'm pretty much finished with this construction. So when I measured, I made a small arc, carried that same measurement up, made a small arc here, and of course I need to label the intersection. I'm going to call that E. And now all I have to do, last step, right? So we know this step looks exactly like that step. That's the last thing we did was E. And the last thing we're going to do here is just connect P and E. Connect P and E. And I'm going to put arrows on the ends. And then I have my two parallel lines. Okay, so this should look exactly like this. Ours is better because we labeled all of the points that we made. Okay, again, if you need to go back and watch this, please feel free to do so. Once you do and you feel like you have the hang of it, you're going to go ahead and do this try it out on your own, as well as the try it out on the last page. Let me know if you have any questions. Since I will be in class with you, please go ahead and ask any questions you have. I will also demo this under the dot cam for everyone. All right? Make sure you check out the description box for supplemental videos.